my name's Lewis. I am one of the DoE UK Youth Ambassadors. Yeah. So today my speech is going to be a bit different to the ones that you've already heard. And I'm going to start off by telling you a story from my life. Just a story. So I remember waking up this one morning, the usual routine, getting dressed, brushing my teeth, walking down the road to my local bus stop. I got on the bus and I met my friend there. I said, "Hiya." And he responded with, "Lewis, you're wet." And for those of you that don't know what that means, I'm still not quite sure, but my understanding is that it was the 2018 colloquialism for the misfits. So, and I responded with, I laughed and I said, yeah. I went into school that day, as I always do, and I went into form. But this day, the teacher wasn't taking the register. It was this girl. And this girl was the queen of low-level disruption. Believe me. And when it came to my name, she touched her face like this, and she said, "Acne." The thing with me is that when I'm stressed, you see it in my skin, my hands, my face. And in one of the hardest times of my life, what did I have? Acne. And I responded with, "Here." That was me. That was my identity. That was who I was. I felt like I had nothing, no prospects, no future, no friends, nothing. It got to the point where I expected nothing more from life. But what I didn't know was that life expected something more from me. I hoped things would change. And that was when I started my Bronze DV. And this was one of the biggest turning points of my life. For my physical section, I did skiing. And this was the very first time I discovered something that I knew I was brilliant at. The very first time. I'd never done sports, I'd never done anything outside of school. And then I start skiing. I joined the race club in 2 years of my first time on a slope. I met new people, new faces, I learned new things. And then I started my skills section, which was volunteer work for St. John's Ambulance. I wanted to help other people. And I remember the first time I went to that group and I looked in through the door, through the window, so many new faces. Just like today. Normally I'd be working the room, these days anyway. And when I looked through, I took a deep breath, and I went in, and there was this boy, and they introduced me to him, and he introduced me to a few people. And I stood there with him for the rest of the evening, for the rest of the night. Just him, I didn't speak to him. That was who I was. But when I finished that evening, when I left, I went back through that door, and my dad was waiting for me, and he said, "How was it, Lewis?" And I said, "Dad, it was one of the best things I've ever done." And he said, "Really?" Because the look on my face had told him that I had hated it. I got so used to seeing the negative side of things, to believing everything was bad, that I didn't know how to show it in my face. DV helped me. DV helps people. But I tell you this from experience because some of you will know that DV will not help everyone. Believe me, I've seen it. It demotivates them sometimes as well. That was on my expedition. It doesn't help everyone, but for those people that it does help, it changes their lives like it changed mine. It changes their lives. And for all those people out there whose lives DoE has changed and whose lives DoE is going to change, I want to say thank you to the Lord Mayor's Appeal for supporting our cause. It's a fantastic partnership that we've had for 3 years now, and it's continuing for another year due to COVID. They've helped us to turbocharge our reach to the young people of London. Thank you so much. And I think when I look back to the person I was before my bronze, when I looked forward into the future, I saw nothing. And despite that, it is that experience which has put my feet on this stage in front of you today. And when I look back to the person that I was all those years ago, not so long ago actually, it makes me sound really old, I didn't know who I was. I had no direction. And since then, I haven't changed. I don't think I've transformed. I don't think I'm a new person. I think I found myself. And that's all I have.